Now let's add some detail. I'm going to click here and under display, turn that back off. Look at them from the front. And in the object, I'm going to say draw all the edges in wireframe. And in the modifier, say just the optimal display. Then I'm going to do shift space. Type T to bring up the tool shelf. Scale this guy up more. And put in a larger size here. And Quick Edit, what Quick Edit will do is allow you to edit an image from this point of view in your external editor and then apply it back onto this 3D model. In your user preferences, under File, you specify which image editor you want to use. So I'll click Quick Edit. Launch Photoshop. And we've got our model here, and let's see, make sure I have a brush, white. I'm going to add a layer. I'm just using this lower layer as a reference. Make sure it's a hard brush. There we go. Make it a little bigger. How about like that? I use the mouse for this. And click. And let's go ahead and stick the eyes in while we're here. How big do we want them? Let's see how that looks. And here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to delete this layer. I'll go ahead and save this and close it. Come back to Blender and apply it. And if we do Shift Space, you should see it on our map. I'm going to do a save as image since this is an iteration. There we go. I had to do a reload image. Not sure why. Blender, for some reason, didn't update that. But I wanted to save it before I did a reload so we didn't lose anything. Now, let's go back to this guy. Look at him. See how these... That's pretty cool. And look at our image again. Let's see, he's got this, comes to a point. I think we'll go ahead and we'll try and draw that in. Why not? I'm going to just draw like here. I could do some of the work in Blender and try cleaning it up in Photoshop. Nothing wrong with that. We're still on shadeless and we're still painting, so I could hit S, and I've got a hard edge brush. I could and bring this in get the rough idea of what I'm looking for before I go to Photoshop. Type F to make it smaller. This helps me think through what I'm going to do. Control 1. Let's go 7, period. Let's zoom in a little. And I think the point would be off of here. Let's take this over and look at it from the back again. Bring those around. Say, let's say it's out here. Make our brush bigger by hitting F. All right, so now let's try taking this into Photoshop. Let's just a quick edit. Undo. And we can do something like, say we want to use the pen tool to bring the path down. Bring that in. Draw it. And we could put a little curve to it. Move this over to the center. Maybe we should keep that straight. Let's turn that into a selection. And what did I forget to do? I forgot to do this on another layer. That's okay though. I'm just going to add the layer and I'll just paint this again, because really all I whacked was my reference. And I'll invert. Oh, I don't want there. There we go. Let's apply it. That's a nice smoother edge. A sample here, and let's see if we can do something here in the back. Zoom in a little more. Quick edit. Obviously, if you wanted even more precision, you could take more time and bring this map into a program like Illustrator, where you have a lot of control over your points, your paths. But we don't really want to. teaching Illustrator right now, or Photoshop. We're interested in Blender. It's funny, when I switch between the programs, I end up using Blender keys. I don't use Photoshop keys in Blender, but I use Blender keys in Photoshop and in Illustrator. So let's go to our brush, sample here. There we go. Let's apply it. Touch it up. And do we want to do it from the top? This should only take a second. Let's go ahead and do a quick edit. Let's try freehand painting, huh? Undo. I want to do that on another layer. Always add the layer, remember. Now the edge is a little bit soft based on the resolution of the texture map that we're using in Blender. So when this translates back to Blender, Blender's gonna do the best job it can. If you want more resolution, you got to go to a higher resolution map, or try and scale your islands up as much as you can. There we go. There's our guy. And lastly, we can do his belt. I'm going to go ahead and save that as another lesson. So let's do save as, increment, space, so we can see here. We're going to go over, don't worry about those extra files, we don't need those. But the image, we got to save that. So let's do save image. And we're good till the next lesson. This section you can skip if you want. I'm just going to make a couple tweaks to the geometry. I'm not going to add any new geometry. I'm just going to push some vertices around. Make sure I turn on X mirror. Matcap shading. So with X mirror on, I should be able to, there we go. What we don't want is to have one selected here and here, because that will confuse it. So I got to make sure we have only the side we're working on selected. That's the danger. His feet seem like they might be too big. And they are a little big. click here. From the front, click there. Back from the side, hit period, and then scale down. That's better. I know. I said that we were going to touch the hand. We're going to adjust the hand when we have bones, but really, it's driving me nuts looking at it. So I'm just going to modify a little bit. Let's see. Let's bring that palm down. Oh, for proportional editing, let's click that on for a second. And then off again. Just scaling it from the point of view. Turn on proportional editing again. Switch to edge selection mode just to get these knuckles up a little. Probably too much. Let's take these. Alt S to scale along the normals. Just make them just a little bit bigger. Move up. Alt S. And let's see, how's that looking? Better. Almost there. This is a case where you're looking at the the shading on the faces really helps you understand what you're doing when you're in a odd position. I'm really not being aggressive enough on these ankles.